like it's going to be pretty good. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the blue Protoss player. Representing Psystorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. Arguably the strongest Protoss in the world at the moment. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner, no slouch himself. He is certainly the largest of the Terrans and the biggest of the Gabes. His mouse sports, HeroMarine. I think it's going to be a juicy TVP. Again, MaxPax's PvT has looked very, very strong lately. But in general, I would say Terran's usually considered favored in this matchup right now. I think a lot of people have diagnosed this matchup as kind of the issue for Protoss players, is this matchup right now. And a big part of the reason why we don't see a lot of Protoss doing very well at the big tournaments. Important to note that another part of the reason we don't see Protoss doing well in big tournaments is because MaxPax, arguably the best Protoss, doesn't go to them. He has not shown his face and has not gone to any tournaments, leading to many rumors that he is royalty. I wonder if he's somebody famous. Give me one moment. I'm going to run away for just a second. We're going to follow this observer real quick. Sorry, I thought I heard a knock at my door. I did not. There is nobody there. Kind of hard to tell with headphones on, but anyways. Ooh, quick 3cc from HeroMarine. Very quick 3cc here. Expanding on the high ground as well. You like to see it. 3 barracks follow-up. Okay. Twilight Council here from MaxPax. So no Stargate opener. HeroMarine's going to spot this with the Reaper. Reaper gets stuck though. Oop. Back we go to the main as that Reaper bites the dust. But it is a blink opener. We could see some blink pressure from MaxPax, but just looking like 2-gate for the time being. Could very well just be some 2-gate pressure. Adept, the door has been opened for the Adept, but the Adept doesn't want to go through the door. The Adept just wanted to kill that one Marine. 2 Marines actually. Hold on. 2 Marines and the Reaper have gone down now for HeroMarine. And this is, so one of the strengths of MaxPax is using these early game units, putting on lots of pressure and just not losing anything, I say confidently, as he loses that Adept. But second Stalker shows up and suddenly all these Marines are dead. HeroMarine doesn't have a bunker here, and he immediately has to evacuate the low ground. This is so painful for HeroMarine. There is a Marauder on the way. These 2 Stalkers just causing lots of problems. HeroMarine not able to mine from his low ground. Finally with the Marauder, Big Daddy, Stalkers will get pushed away. There's 2 more Stalkers on the way. Oh man, is there going to be enough? Another Marauder's about to pop. Actually 2 more very close, and a couple more Marines. If they get out here, HeroMarine's going to be fine on top of this ramp, and it looks like he will be. Blink is nearly done though, and there is a Warp Prism on the way. MaxPax built a 3rd and a 4th gateway. This isn't just a macro blink pressure here for MaxPax, but he's got this pylon though, so he could expand if he feels like this isn't gonna get the kill. Blink pretty good, but high ground also pretty good. But with that Prism, we could absolutely see a blink into the main base. HeroMarine did a very greedy build with this 3cc. And this is why the follow-up of the 3 racks is crucial. Because now we can pump out enough units to maybe compete with these Stalkers, but as 4 blink or get warped in the main. The rest of them are thinking about blinking in. They do blink in. And now the Prism Micro. We got to see fancy Prism Micro. Stim is done. HeroMarine tries to jump on top of that Prism. He's going to get a couple of Stalkers here. But MaxPax with some excellent Micro keeps a lot of these units alive. Let's take a look. 3 Stalkers went down, but obviously a lot of Marines have gone down. And that Stim is very painful for HeroMarine. Starboard is a long way away from being done. Medevacs are a long way away from being out. Stalker's going to blink on top of the bunkers. One of them goes down. Other one will stay alive, and I think MaxPax is going to back up a little bit here. He's trying to knock it down. I think focusing on these Marines is maybe the better choice. Loses another Stalker or 2. I think one of these is going to die. Oh my god, how did he dropped this one out before picking those 4 up? It's actually insane. But he gets 3 more worker kills. That is crucial. MaxPax started this third, and it's nearly done. But the worker count is even despite HeroMarine losing 8 SCVs. So he's done a very good job keeping that worker count up. Obviously, he's got triple Mule. So economically, HeroMarine's in a pretty solid spot. But now the Stalkers come back in. A lot of those units were in the main base, not where they needed to be. The bunker goes down. Another big stim from HeroMarine. He can only do so many of those. But a siege tank is out now, and that's going to help. These have now gone down, and it feels like MaxPax has done enough damage to justify this. The army count is pretty much dead even, but look at that worker count, 36 to 59. MaxPax is going to keep the pressure on. This is the kind of play he loves to do. He doesn't want to pull back in macro. He just wants to keep on pushing this advantage. He's got to be super careful, but my god, that Stalker Micro is just beautiful. Keeping so many of these Stalkers alive, I say, as he loses another one. But after all of this, look at how insanely good these traits are in this early game. Keeping so many of those Stalkers alive, just getting more hits with them. And I know HeroMarine is targeting down low hit point ones, trying to get them. But those Marauder shots just not connecting over and over and over again. And now MaxPax has the 3rd base up and running. 4th base is on the way. Can increase the tech. Getting into a Robo Bay, and Immortals back at home. HeroMarine down to 29 workers. And even on 3 command centers, 29 workers is just abysmal. But there are medevacs out. There's another siege tank here. Charge is done. That's going to be a big boon for MaxPax. But these Stalkers are not going to be nearly as strong as they were before. They will die very quickly to this army with +1. Stim bio and siege tanks. MaxPax bringing some more units out. I don't feel like he can take this fight right now. I think he's just got to warp in as much as possible back at home and try to get on top of this. Maybe before the tank siege. There's a Colossus on the way, but that's a lot of money spent. That's not going to be useful right now. Here we go. MaxPax is going for it. He's going to jump on top of the siege tanks, targeting them down with the Stalkers and the Immortals. Pulls back. And now it's just the bio here. Bio is still going to be very strong, especially with a lot of medevacs in the sky to heal them. But if MaxPax holds, he wins. That's it. If he holds, he wins. I would love to see, yep, there's the overcharged shield battery. It's beautiful timing because MaxPax just wants to buy time. This Colossus is a game changer. That is a lot of damage here against these Marines. And it looks like the Marauders are pretty much all dead. As soon as that Colossus gets spotted, HeroMarine taps out. And MaxPax takes game number 1 with that heavy blink micro control. Actually insane. It's crazy how good MaxPax has gotten with those Stalkers. When I tell you that once upon a time, MaxPax was a cheesy player who had decent control, but not really good control. And he had like kind of weird, wonky strategies. And he was still at the time really good at disrupting the build and disrupting the flow of his opponent. It's something that MaxPax has always been an expert at. And he would use that, so he would get a little advantage at the beginning and disrupt the build, and then use that disruption to gain another little advantage, and just like really snowball that advantage into an inevitable win. You'd watch MaxPax games, and his control maybe wasn't the crispest, but it was good enough to get that damage done, and it was just so disruptive. It felt like the opponent didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden, they're way behind, and they're just dead. He was also very good at doing greedy cheeses. By that, I mean expanding very quickly, and nobody knew how to deal with it. But it's wild to see him grow into this player that has just some of the best Stalker micro in the world. MaxPax nowadays, I mean, you can't touch him. There are very few Protoss players that can compete with him in terms of micro, and he still has that power to disrupt builds. He still has a mind which can work in ways that I think a lot of other people struggle to work in, and it's so strong with Protoss. It's why we've seen him still able to do so well over the last year or so, while Protoss has been struggling a bit. It's basically been just him and Hero. Anyways, we're here on Altitude. In the upper right-hand corner, it is Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax, who I am currently gushing over. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner, he's kind of the opposite of MaxPax in that his play isn't about doing anything crazy or new. He's always had very good control, but it's really just about being so solid, so consistent, and trying to nail everything as perfect as possible. For Mouse Sports, it's HeroMarine. Now, obviously a tough game one for HeroMarine. I'm sure he has dealt with 4-gate blink against that kind of 3cc opener before, but it is a tough one. Obviously, HeroMarine going for a heavy economic opening, and MaxPax able to take advantage of it a little bit. It shows, I think, though, how well MaxPax understands how you gain advantages in this game, and we see Hero do the same thing, and the highest level Protosses get this, and they're all very, very good at it. But for the rest of us, it's crazy to watch. Remember those early interactions with the Adept and the couple of Stalkers? How MaxPax lost only the one Adept, but he killed a handful of Marines? Later on, when we get to those Blink Stalkers showing up, the Adept, it's just not important anymore, right? It doesn't matter. Genuinely, the Adept doesn't matter once the Blink Stalkers show up. So losing it really didn't change anything for MaxPax, but he killed a handful of Marines. Like 3, 4? When HeroMarine was defending initially, he only had like 8, 9 units. Imagine if he had 4 more Marines there. That makes it so much easier. And through that, we get to see just how MaxPax likes to play. He wants to put pressure on. He wants to pick a couple of units off, and that just makes his follow-up pressure that much stronger. But we see HeroMarine changing this up already. And I assume it's because he scouted the Stargate. But even before then, he had a factory after that barracks. And this is another 3cc build, but this time it's not the 3 racks follow-up. It's straight into that factory. And he did spot that Stargate. It's going to be Phoenixes, but the Cyclone's a good early defender if it's an Oracle. I'm sure he'll know it's Phoenixes once the Oracle doesn't hit in a little bit here. I love that MaxPax is going for a Phoenix opener. Phoenix is very strong opening against harassment. I think their big downfall is they don't do quite as well in a big army engagement, and their use kind of falls off as the game gets later, unless you make like a ton of them. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous to make that like 8 or 9 Phoenixes, 12 Phoenixes if you're Roddy. Because they just aren't quite as strong in the big fights. So if you've got like 20 supply in Phoenixes, it doesn't feel the same as 20 supply in Zealots or something, you know? but they do have some very specific uses, and they are very good at what they do. And I think the coolest thing about Phoenixes is they scale with your control. And they kind of do scale with your opponent's control as well, though. So if your opponent is very, very good, Phoenixes can be a little bit tough. They get targeted down. If your opponent doesn't fall for some of the tricks, Widowmine drags can be very strong with a group of Phoenixes over a group of Marines. This is really nice, though. MaxPax just picking off units, just like I mentioned from that last game. Getting a few Marines. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's like a fifth of the Marines that are out are now dead. You know? Pretty impactful as the game gets later. Phoenix is also very, very good at just scouting everything your opponent's doing pretty much constantly, as long as you're active with them. Again, they scale with how good you are at this game. MaxPax very good. He's going to grab a few SCVs, gets a couple Marines, sneaks out of there. But yeah, just trying to pick and poke and prod, and this allows you to get into Colossi without them being hard countered by Vikings, Liberators, things like that. Widowmine does get a nice hit here. It's going to bite the dust for that one, but splash damages a lot of these Phoenixes, gets them nice and low. MaxPax finding a lot of damage, though. He's only lost one probe. He's killed 7 SCVs, 6 Marines, killed that Widowmine. He still hasn't really lost anything at all. Now behind this, second Colossus on the way, Thermal Lance on the way. Kind of pushing out on the map a little bit, but yeah, the Phoenix is just trying to keep an eye on what's going on here. Pick off a few Marines. It's a beautiful play from MaxPax. Also, if these Cyclones lock on, the Phoenixes can lift them, break the lock on. Wow, this is actually some of the best like Phoenix opening play I've seen in a long time. These Phoenixes are so active. He finally loses one. But we're 7 minutes into the game. The Phoenixes have done enough to justify them existing by now. They do need to come back and help in this fight. Thing about Phoenixes too, you can't really run away when there's Phoenixes. They will chase you. They will kill your medevacs. And if you don't have enough units left, oh, they will just pick up half of your army. I mean, let's take a look right now. There are 21 Marines. If, like 9 of these Marines die, suddenly the Phoenixes can pick up half, and you're fighting with half an army. Half of whatever was left of your army. Like, it's wild how quickly the Phoenixes can snowball into just winning you a game. But again, they're very fragile units. They can die very quickly, and the moment they're dead, the Terran will start taking advantage of it, going for drops. Ooh. This is maybe a little bit out of position here. But they join up with the rest of the army. Nice little force field there to pick off a couple of units. HeroMarine needs to be very careful out on this map. With 3 Colossi, MaxPax is happy to be a part of this fight out on the map. But HeroMarine has a Ghost Academy. He's got double starport, both with reactors, building 4 Vikings at a time. And this is one way to really handle the Phoenixes, is you just say, screw you, I'm making Vikings anyways. And you can get to a high enough Viking count to start just demolishing the Colossi. And HeroMarine's good enough. He will click on those Colossi with the Vikings. He will target fire. And the Phoenixes suddenly, like, their one job for the Colossi is to stop the opponent from building Vikings. And they're not doing it. MaxPax sees the Vikings. Is he going to start going back into Phoenixes? That is one way to handle this. Is you just say, oh, you're building a bunch of Vikings? All right, well, I'm going to make you really commit to Vikings and go heavy, heavy Phoenixes. A couple SCVs going down here. So a little Zealot run by. A little Zealot prison drop in the main base. Starting to become a bit of a problem for HeroMarine, but reinforcements looking pretty good. HeroMarine continuing to move to the other side of the map. It's a couple of lock-ons, but there's a shield battery here. HeroMarine just wants to put some pressure on. I would love to see some siege tanks. I'm surprised we're not seeing any tanks here. I feel like a couple of siege tanks really anchors a position like this. Oh, but HeroMarine diving forward. Killing some of the Phoenixes for now. Targets down at Colossus. Gets it pretty low, but there is a super shield battery. And I think HeroMarine's got to pull on back. It looks like HeroMarine handled the Zealots on the other side of the map, so those units are coming across now, but they're not here yet. Oh no, the Biomicros forward instead of just the Vikings, and the Zealots get some great hits there. MaxPax, though, losing some supply. Vikings are starting to shoot at the Colossi now, and it looks like the Phoenixes have all died. Oh man, and this is where it becomes a real problem for MaxPax, because now the Bio can be micro. The Vikings just don't need to anymore. They are just killing these Colossi. Two of them very low. One goes down. The other one goes down. The Vikings could even land now. Disruptor up on the high ground. Maybe looking for a shot, but it's not in the right position. Oh, man. Shield battery's not enough to save that Archon. And MaxPax under 100 supply. It looks like we're going to a game number 3. HeroMarine shows us that it is not so easy. Not so easy to take the big Gabe down. So now we got game 3. Winner of this goes to the semifinals. Face the winner of Spirit versus Kellizer. I think that one is still going. We could have another TVT, but we'll just have to see. Some nice play there from HeroMarine. This is why this is a fun match. Looks like the top side of the bracket, Lambo took down Skillis and Clem took down Trigger. Trigger took a game though, man. Trigger is good. I'm excited to see that. I feel like Trigger's gotten a lot better recently. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm stoked on it though. I need more Trigger in my life. Spawning in the lower left hand corner, we have our blue Protoss here for Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Took game 1, but tying up the series in game 2. His opponent in the upper right for Mouse Sports, it's HeroMarine. But we got Clem and Lambo in the top side semis. And then winner of this versus winner of Spirit Kellizer in the bottom side semis. Guaranteed 1 Terran to the finals. Honestly, decent chance of a TVT finals, but we do have the 1 Protoss left here. And the 1 Zerg and Lambo. You never know. Could be a PVZ finals. All right, so game 3, is HeroMarine going to go for another quick 3cc build? I feel like he might. I feel like the answer might be yes. So for a long time, there was this thought for Terran in this matchup that the Terran had to get economic damage done to the Protoss in order to compete with them later on in the game. And usually you'd see a Terran go for Widowmine drops, Hellions, Liberators, Banshees, etc., to put that pressure onto the Protoss, do that economic damage, and gain an advantage that way. And it really did feel like if the Terran didn't get that damage done, they were just permanently behind. But, I mean, we saw HeroMarine in that last game. He opened 3cc, dealt with the Phoenix harass, ended up able to take it. You know, I feel like that mentality has changed at the highest level, and that's why we are seeing Terrans win this matchup a lot. That being said, obviously game 1 went very well for MaxPax. That one didn't really get to the later stage we're talking about here. MaxPax kind of 2-base, not quite all inning, but very, very aggressive 2-base play in game 1. It really took advantage of HeroMarine. Instead of trying to put pressure on and do damage to the Protoss economy, just trying to boost his own economy with that quick 3rd CC. This game doesn't look like a quick third CC though. As the starport goes down, natural base finishing up. So HeroMarine changing it up a little bit, giving us something new. Marine's trying to push these adepts away. The adepts finish that shade, but one's gonna go down. The other one, desperate to escape. Well, HeroMarine just running across the map with some units right now. He's like, hey, you sent both those adepts across, right? Does that mean you have nothing back at home? MaxPax is like, no, I got stuff. I also have a wall. And I kind of love this. HeroMarine's putting pressure on. So MaxPax doesn't cancel the pylon, just leaves it. HeroMarine's like, all right, you're trapped in your base now. But MaxPax is kind of okay being trapped in his base because this Robo's finishing up, and that looks like 4 gateways to me. Is that 4 gateways? There's 2 in production, 2 finished. That's going to be 4 gateways with Blink. So we are seeing MaxPax again go for 4-gate Blink, all in, 2 base against HeroMarine. And you know what? With this pylon here, it isn't all in. Okay, I think he's going to kill the pylon. I think a probe can get out this gap. Am I right in thinking that? I don't know if a stalker can, though. I actually think stalkers might not be able to. It's kind of wild. Well, HeroMarine going to hit with the Widowmine drop, but Blink is about to finish. Ooh, Stalker's in a bit of a weird spot. Actually, this Widowmine drop is going to get off. Oh, my God. Okay. All right, HeroMarine not targeting that second Widowmine. Gets 1 probe kill, I'm pretty sure. That Widowmine drop really felt like it could have gone better. One of them shot into the gas geyser, though, and that's always the most unfortunate thing. HeroMarine, though, he knows exactly what he's up against, right? He's got the double bunker at the front, full of units. Early tanks this time. Tank in a beautiful, safe position here. Stalkers drop in, they kill 1 SCV, and they pick up right away to leave because they know they can't stick around with that tank. MaxPax realizing HeroMarine's set up well defensively. This wasn't a quick 3CC this time. Just takes 3rd base. I think this is a beautiful choice. Part of what forced MaxPax into the kind of all-in position in game 1 was because HeroMarine did 3CC, if MaxPax pulls the pressure off, HeroMarine's ahead. Whereas in this game, no 3rd CC, MaxPax can take this base, and he's ahead in a 3rd base now. He's ahead economically. He can still poke, put pressure on, try to pick off Marines, maybe some SCVs, maybe a siege tank. Ooh, that tank gets taken down. A couple auto turrets trying to help out, but auto turrets not that strong these days. And oh no, Stim! Flashbacks to patch 4.0. More Marines showing up. A couple Marauders pop out. There's too many Stalkers here, though. There's too many Stalkers. Okay, another tank is sieged up in the back. Way in the back. Another one joining forward. 5 SCVs have gone down, and with no 3rd CC to replace them, this is so painful for HeroMarine. Oh, and this Stargate, or Starport rather, nearly killed, honestly. MaxPax decides to blink away and go test the front. There is a bunker here. I love the evacuation of the other bunker. That's actually beautiful. But they both end up going down. The Stalkers microing backwards. In the meantime, 4 Stalkers in the main just hanging out here, poking and prodding, just out of range of that tank. Whew. Oh my God, the blink control. Look at all these super low hit point Stalkers. I know a few have gone down, 8 of them. But look at the trades. My God, it's more than 2 to 1. That is insane. And HeroMarine, despite being set up so nicely for this, being ready for the blink attack, MaxPax still finding huge damage. And he is now ahead 25 workers. He is way up in army supply. I mean, back at home, he's just building a forge, really. Charged on the way. It doesn't even matter what's going on back at home. MaxPax is just winning the game. And I mean, damn. How do you stop that 4-gate blink? HeroMarine was like, all right, it's 4-gate blink. Set up a couple bunkers. Got my siege tanks. All right, we should be good. He was set up. Started off well. Those first stalkers jumped in. They had to leave immediately. HeroMarine was feeling pretty good, and I was like, all right, well, third base is up. Stalkers will just poke and prod. MaxPax was like, no, Stalkers are going to win the game. Okay. All right, MaxPax. Jesus.